to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. The Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Mike, the Fantasy Hitman
Champion.
Wright. Jason Moore. I'm Andy Holloway. Welcome in, one and all. Wednesday, December 31st. It's New Year's Eve.
Oh, man, tomorrow is a great day because it's next year, and I can't wait for next year.
Oh, you got big plans?
Well, I just want it to be next year.
He's turning, I think it's a symbolic turning the page on his fantasy season.
Yeah, on the not winning the championship while Mike won the championship this year. So, starting
I don't
tomorrow.
like how you said it was like I won the one.
Yeah. Well, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, you won.
This is a show of Jason, we had the three pillars of the show. What are the three pillars of the show, Jason?
Great production quality.
Yeah, check. Then we got that.
Entertainment.
I think we got that.
Oh, no. This is
it's accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He feels like you were inaccurate.
I was not inaccurate.
I don't have to check my emotions.
I was not inaccurate with what I said. Simply not saying everything.
Where's my scepter?
That thing was heavy. That was a
I
real
told you.
It was a real ruby.
It's a real scepter.
The whoever built like the handle of the scepter,
Yeah.
they did not
Account
the
for
integrity of that structure would be out with one swing.
It is locked back in the vault with Brooks's eggs.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for letting me borrow that, Brooksy.
Brooks hasn't been in the office for a while. He must have been spending most of that time on his yacht.
Yeah.
He's actually got one of those permanent airplanes.
Oh, that stays
right.
in the
Just
air?
lives up there.
Uh-huh.
Refuels in the air.
Just in case.
You can never be too safe.
Those things. Yeah, that'd be neat. We've got a Week 18 show. This is technically a Megalodon of sorts, but we can't really, it's Week 18, so it doesn't get the full growl. You know what I mean? It's like a backup growl.
Yeah.
Or like a third string growl.
It's like this is the kitty cat of this is a large cat.
I mean, backup. It's the backup growl, not unlike all the backup players that you will be playing in week 18.
It's the Tanner McKee of growls. Is all I'm saying. But we're here, and we're going to jump in. We've got backup options on the show. We've got some news. We've got the fantasy forecast. We do have the much anticipated Wheel of Shame.
Sure.
Mike is acting immune to it, but when we get done with you, we'll see how you feel. Foot Clan title t-shirts, shopballers.com. Head over there. Trophies, rings, belts. Head over to fantasychamps.com and swag out. I am. Did I mention on the show?
I think you did.
That might have been the
Footcast.
How I had won a championship.
You went to sleep a winner.
I went to sleep so far ahead with Puka Nacua left that I did say on this show I had won a title with Malik Willis. And accuracy is a pillar of this show.
Yeah.
So I'd like to basically what happened was yesterday.
Tell the truth.
Yesterday in the middle of the day, and I didn't pay attention to that league.
Yeah, you had won.
During the Monday night game. I didn't pay attention because I had Puka and a huge lead. And anyways, it was a league. It was a league for charity, and I wake up the next day and I was in the championship against Mike Clay, mortal enemy at ESPN.
Yes, sworn.
Fantasy podcast.
Oh.
But don't worry, we also field. We don't like you either. We don't like you either. Curly-haired Field Yates. But I went to bed thinking I'm a champion. Woke up and apparently Bijan outscored Puka by like 1,000, and I lost by like a couple points.
Yeah.
And so my charity got the shaft. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All we're saying is Mike Clay.
Congratulations.
Shopballers.com. Our Foot Clan title shirts are there.
That's what.
So you are the champ. You can don that.
Saying. That's what we're saying. This might as well be the nickname of Week 18.
Backup Options, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, real backup options will be taking the field in Week 18, so we've comprised a small list to share with you of the sneaky ads and starts that may end up helping you out this week. A lot of starters are going to sit down. We found out this morning the Eagles are going to sit their starters now. You're going to have players that maybe play a limited amount of snaps, limited playing time, and so you should pay attention to a handful of these names.
Play Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Tank Bigsby. Yeah, no, I mean, this is a good start. Tank Bigsby of the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, you may see some Ty Johnson, Ray Davis in Buffalo. You may see Kamani Vidal or
even better. Jarrett Patterson.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, Jay and Haskins.
Oh, man.
Jarrett Patterson and Hassan Haskins are the OG Nasty Boys.
Yeah, but
on the same roster.
We won a title on the legs of Jarrett Patterson once upon a time, and you can do it too.
We did win a championship with Haskins in the lineup.
Yes, he did not assist much.
He didn't chip in very much.
Packers are locked into the 7th seed, so Malik Willis, Emmanuel Wilson both seem to be in play this week. We don't know for sure about Jordan Love, but that seems the most likely situation. Josh Jacobs as well. Why play him dealing with the knee swelling? Emmanuel Wilson, Chris Brooks. And then there's some injury things, and we already know that Dallas is, crafty old
Dak is going to start.
Yeah.
Oh, great news if you got Dak. Now, I'm not sure. They're not going to say what their plans are for how much. I mean, you could see him getting like the start for consecutive starts or something and then just not playing. They bring in Joe Milton. You have no idea. So it's like, if you had Dak, are you comfortable putting him in your lineup?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. No. Yeah, but Javonte Williams and Breece Hall also got banged up last week and are in situations where they're not needed that much. So Malik Davis for Dallas and Isaiah Davis, the Davises, could be in play as well. And then, Jason, you were mentioning Jake Tonjes. He is on the most dropped list this week, but
still, I mean, there's not a guarantee that George Kittle plays. Honestly, I put it at, I see that George Kittle has like projections on all the platforms, and I was really surprised by that he would have a projection already.
I feel like they had said last week that more than likely he'll be available next week. So I think George will play.
But seeing him as one of the most dropped guys, I'm like, if you had him or need him, I would still hold him.
Yeah, that is a big game. That's one that you can feel confident with all the players in.
As far as motivation goes.
Yep. And there are some of those this week. That was Backup Options, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. We'll move into news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, I said it already. The Eagles are expected to rest Jalen Hurts and most of the starters. The original line on the game for Monday was Philly minus 7.5. Now it's Philly minus 3.5 against Washington.
Washington.
Well, they're already on their third.
You're joking that they're still.
But when the team's like, "Hey, we're sitting down our starters," we're still projected to win by more than a field goal.
I mean, it will be second string versus third string. Commanders are still one further behind on the strings. Tanner McKee will start for the Eagles. Stephon Diggs, we found out more. It's not good. He faces felony, strangulation, or suffocation, and misdemeanor assault charges.
There are reports that he's trying to settle this out of court. TBD. I
read the police report. He better settle it out of court. This is bad.
Oh, it's not looking good.
It's not good. No. But this is also, yeah. I mean, it's tough with a player like Stephon Diggs when there's enough news over enough years around a player. It's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
He is like 8 receptions away from a lot of money
and some yards away from even more money.
If I was New England, I'd play him, give him 7 catches and take him out.
Yeah, I think
that's what I would.
I think you're right. The punishment for this,
don't play it,
might be like you don't get that money. You won't even get a chance.
And then we also, one thing that we may enjoy this weekend is getting to see a few youngsters get out there and take snaps. We won't see Caleb Johnson because they're in a must-win game. But Jaden Blue we'll get to see. Rookie running back Jaden Blue.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys. So anybody that has had limited snaps that you'd love to get to see out there, I'll be keeping my eyes on some of those players like Jaden Blue and others. Let them get some snaps, get opportunities. I mean, seeing Tank Bigsby run with the ones will be fun.
That one is like the only positive. Like, hey, here's someone that I think you can play who is a talented player on a team that is favored against a good matchup. It's like across the board. Like, okay, that's the pick up and play this week.
And that wasn't meant to be some like blind shot at Caleb Johnson. It was just I was thinking through the rookies that haven't had a lot of snaps, and I was thinking
you didn't mean it, but you did it.
No,
I know what you're saying.
No, I just meant like I'm playing through we didn't get to watch that we were excited about before the season. It's not like Caleb played and failed. Caleb just didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Not when Kenny Gainwell is there. That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. And here we go. The Fantasy Forecast, Week 18.
Fantasy Forecast, presented by Prize Picks.
Well, big game, Carolina, Tampa Bay.
For the division, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, Tampa Bay minus 2.5, over under 43.5.
We've been waiting for this game for weeks, but we might wait no longer. Maybe.
It's the situation is basically if Tampa wins, but then Atlanta beats the Saints, Tampa's win will be meaningless. Which is just, are those games at the same time?
No.
So this one,
they're Saturday.
Yeah, this one is Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The good news is that when this game is being played, it will be being played for all the marbles, even though it might not be.
Yeah. They may have to take the marbles back.
Motivation will be there.
Tristan Wirfs
Those are my
been
marbles.
dealing with a toe injury, might not play again. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing terribly. The feel-good players in this game probably, Tetero, McMillan, Bucky Irving. Are we comfortable there?
Yeah.
Mike Evans.
It was a disaster for Tet last week. I'm sorry, Tetero McMillan. But last time he played against Tampa Bay, 6 for 73 with a score. Tampa Bay's defense is not what they played Seattle last week. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Did the Bucks?
It wasn't Seattle.
Who did they play?
They got beat by Miami.
I'm talking about Carolina.
Oh, I thought you said Tampa Bay.
You definitely said Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's week 18. I'm already done. I'm already
Say
done
I'm
here.
champ.
Say Tetero McMillan.
We're here for the people, but
Tetero McMillan.
They played some guys last week and probably didn't play good.
McMillan played Seattle last week. Seattle has a top-tier defense. 2 weeks ago against Tampa, that's when McMillan was 6 for 73, so I'm comfortable playing him.
He is the wide receiver 16 on the year. How do you feel about Tetero McMillan's rookie season? He looks like
I think it's a very, very good NFL rookie season.
Yes.
That might be a little disappointing for fantasy purposes in the sense of maybe where you drafted him and what we've seen over the last several years of just incredible year one breakout sensations. And, he didn't Brian Thomas Jr. or Malik Neighbors. So a little disappointing, but you're talking about a guy who's, got a good chance to go 1,000 yards, plenty of touchdowns, appears to be the dominant one for their team. So I'm very bullish on Tetero for the future.
I'm less bullish just on the quarterback front. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't think
I
Bryce
get
Young can
that.
supply what you need to be a perennial top 10 guy, but consistency will be there, I think, in the future.
It's like he's the archetype of player, like me and Kyle have talked about this, he's kind of like Drake London. And
yeah, I think that's a good comp.
London's rookie year was 866-4. His sophomore year was 905-2, and then bang. So Tetero McMillan might start a little slow in the NFL, but I think he's going to be a stud.
Okay. And then Rico Dowdle didn't practice on Tuesday. Canales says he'll be fine. He only needs 7 yards for $1 million.
And a tutty for $250K.
And they're going for the playoffs here.
If they get on the goal line and they give it to Chuba,
Oh.
I don't think they can do that. You know what I mean? Like,
The only way they can do that is if there is a camera locked on Rico. And I just need to see him. And he's just like 2 inches from Canales' face,
Yeah.
staring at him.
but I
Breathing on him.
I will say that is one of those. I mean, it's only once they're on the goal line, but I would genuinely believe that if they're on the goal line this week, they're practicing with like Rico on that goal line package.
It should be Rico regardless.
Right. It's not one of those where they're forcing something dumb to hit that bonus, but that bonus matters.
Don't feel good about Baker. Don't feel good about Ibuka.
Nope.
The Emeka Ibuka story, he's accumulated 906 incomplete air yards. The second most in the league. So the targets, we've saw it for weeks and weeks. Now the targets aren't even there. I honestly don't know how to think about him moving into the future. I need time to deal with this.
He's very tough. And now that Jalen McMillan has come back, he's running basically, he's splitting with McMillan. And but 5 targets last week. We're not playing Ibuka, but you've asked the question in the offseason of like, who is better for next year, Jamison Williams or Emeka Ibuka? And I keep going back and forth.
Well, this week, I would play Godwin, Evans, McMillan ahead of him.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's the depressing truth right now. The Seahawks are 13-3. The 49ers 12-4. Another Saturday game here, 8 Eastern. Seattle -1.5. Over under 49.5. That line, I saw it yesterday in the middle of the day. It was like half a point. I'm considering this one like a
heads up,
a pure heads up. I like San Francisco to win this game. They're playing so well.
This one's fun. I think this is a huge test for San Francisco in terms of, can you win? Can you beat a real playoff team? Seattle has a chance to win the Super Bowl. Can you beat them with just your offense? Because that San Francisco is offensive firepower, and Seattle is more, we are the rock, the defense that you just can't score on us. So it will be fascinating to watch how, a little mini preview of what San Francisco should expect in the playoffs.
And we've mentioned this in the past, but if you didn't hear it then or aren't aware, the Super Bowl is played this year in San Francisco. If they get the number 1 seed, they finish the season with 2 home games.
Wild. Followed
by every playoff game all the way to the Super Bowl is at home. They're not leaving town. So this is a huge game for both teams. Obviously, the bye week in play for both parties, and but the home team usually gets it.
All right, the JSN Christian McCaffrey situation. I can't imagine the psychological state Mike would be in if this was a report from 1 week ago. Where Christian McCaffrey did not practice due to back stiffness. That's what Shanahan said. Didn't practice on the Tuesday walkthrough.
His back's a little stiff from carrying Mike in all those leagues.
He carried all of us, Jason.
They were Monday night, right? No, they weren't.
No, they were Sunday night.
They were Sunday night, yeah.
I think he'll be fine.
I do.
But the matchup does stink.
We talked about Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet right now at 10.1 fantasy points per game each. Charbonnet had the big week last week. Walker 2 weeks ago. Flip a coin and cry to your mama? I mean, what do you do here? Which one do you start? I mean, I guess I'd go with the touchdown chance. I don't know. If you had to start one?
I don't either. I mean,
if I had to start one, I would start Kenneth Walker because I think he's just better.
20 opportunities for Charbs last week. Oh, Walker's at 17? Oh, man.
I think you're going to have to throw the ball more in this one. They're going to get scored on a little bit. I don't know what that means for those running backs, but it means that maybe those opportunities aren't going to be at 37. Brock Purdy's been on fire. The matchup sucks, but they're at home, and the game matters, so I imagine you're playing him.
Playing so well.
Juwan Jennings back into the end zone. Ricky Pearsall's been limited and banged up. I probably prefer Jennings to Pearsall, yeah?
Jennings over Pearsall.
So.
He has been Brock's main target in the games where they've played together. I was seeing this stat here from Sam Darnold in the last 8 games. I saw this on Twitter from Janik Eckhart. 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 220 yards a game, 29th of 33rd in PFF grade, 23rd in adjusted EPA. Has been not playing very good football.
Right.
7-1. 7-1 in those 8 games.
That's how good the defense is.
Yeah, that defense is doing some lifting.
Yeah, no question. George Kittle, I do agree with Mike. I think he will definitely be out there.
If he plays, I'm playing him.
It's too big of a game, and he was really pushing to play last week. And there you go. So we'll take a break and talk Sunday games. All right, the New Orleans Saints at 6-10 take on the 7-9 Atlanta Falcons. Vegas line is Atlanta minus 3.5. Over under 43.5. So Atlanta is favored, which would make Tampa Bay very sad.
A very funny part of this matchup is Atlanta can spoil a division rival's chances and everything. And yet you would think, well, no, you want your pick to be better. They don't have their pick.
No, that's true.
So if I'm Atlanta, I know, look, you're second and third. It's one spot, maybe one spot lower, whatever. If I'm Atlanta, I am trying everything I have in my team to ruin the day for Tampa Bay.
You would ruin the day for Tampa Bay and for the Rams with the
yes.
pick. Yeah, and your coach. Your coach has been under fire. It seems like they played really hard for him last week. Raheem Morris wants to get to 8-9 here. The Saints have won 4 in a row. They currently have the 8th overall pick. The division right now is sitting 8-8, 7-9, 7-9, 6-10. And so what's wild is it's like Atlanta can win this game. They can get to 8-9, which would be tied with Tampa at 8-9. If Tampa beat Carolina, which would put them at 8-9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so Atlanta would be tied,
disgusting.
but no chance to win the division, which is just
disgusting.
But it's very possible that all three teams are 8-9 at the top of this division, and Carolina sneaks through. Bijan is officially indestructible.
Yeah,
Jason pronounced it.
Not once on an injury report.
Never missed a practice all year long. I mean, I guess you got one more game.
Nah, not happening this year.
Chris Olave also indestructible this year, which is an incredible accomplishment for him.
I would not have predicted that one so boldly.
No, he's been a quiet assassin when it comes to fantasy football teams. Picking him up, playing him. It's never seemed very. It's not like the sexy performances from Jamar Chase or something, but it's just so consistent.
Has been the last couple of weeks.
Olave on the course of the season is one of the
tonight.
Yeah, he is one of the best picks in fantasy as far as ADP versus points per game where you finish. I mean, Olave's been super helpful.
In the maybe start category, how do you feel about Tyler Shuck, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Juwan Johnson?
Tyler Shuck is, if you've been with him, I have no problem. Juwanson, with Vele not there, he will be the number 2 target. And so the Falcons over the last 6 weeks have been tougher against fantasy running backs, but Audric Estime will get the work. I think last week confirmed what the press conference said, where Taysom Hill was talking, saying that was all just for me in front of the home crowd, and now they're going to go back and say our best route forward is let's find out what Audric Estime has.
Do you believe Kirk Cousins will be a starting quarterback in Week 1 next year for somebody?
No.
I think he's starting for Atlanta. I don't know that Penix will be ready.
Cleveland's 4-12. They take on the 6-10 Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati minus 7.5. The over/under's 44.5. The last couple weeks for Cincy has been to put on display what they knew they could do, but
Joe Burrow
didn't get a chance to do.
Joe Burrow is playing fantastic. It's a huge bummer that he missed so much of the season with the injury because he's just dealing right now.
He's got the chance to play Miami and Arizona the last 2 weeks, so that has helped significantly. Because if you remember, 3 weeks ago he got straight up shut out by Baltimore.
Yeah. Yes.
But the last 2 weeks,
one's the Browns, who have such a good defense. You're not worried at all?
No, I'm not.
Well, this is your last chance, right, for Myles Garrett to break the record.
Break the record, yeah.
Yeah, he could break the record, and Joe Burrow can be awesome.
Yeah, I think I'd temper my ceiling with Joe Burrow this week.
I mean, you saw in a must-win game for the Steelers last week, the Browns just shut them down.
Sure, but watching that game, my honest belief is the Steelers completely shut themselves down. They, for whatever
reason,
it
in Aaron Rodgers'
they
hands
decided no, we're going to win with Aaron Rodgers instead of our running backs. And I mean, this is fantasy nerd stuff, right? Where we are analyzing the games, but when I look at a team, the Browns defense over the last 6 weeks, just fantasy points against quarterback, the 7th worst matchup, though against wide receiver, the 3rd worst matchup, and running backs is at 28. I'm gonna run the ball.
Well, I
It's
like
insane.
playing them. It's just the divisional matchup situation. Like
I'm talking for the Steelers of their game plan last week.
No,
was
I
just,
know, but like
what in the world?
these two teams played in week 1. The Bengals scored 17 points in that game, and then the divisional games with Burrow back.
Have they all been rough?
They've been fairly rough. I mean, did he play week 11 though? When did he come back?
Week 13.
Oh, okay. So in week 13 he came back against Baltimore. They did score 32 in that game. Then they lost 24-0. Those were the only 2 since he came back. So, yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad play. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback this week.
You're certainly starting him if he's gotten you this far over the last couple of weeks. You're just going to keep riding it and just adjust expectations from Miami, Arizona defenses.
Exactly. Harold Fannin, if he plays, you play him. And, if you need to get dirty, Shedeur Sanders against Cincinnati's defense, maybe you could get dirty there.
Harold Fannin,
I would
man,
not.
he's been so good on an inept offense. He's the tight end 4 on the season in his rookie year.
Which is awesome for the future.
Yeah.
He's listed as questionable right now. He was highly questionable last week, got knocked out.
Is he on the groin index?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to be.
Oh, for sure.
Groinindex.com.
Groinindex.com.
It sees everyone's groins.
He is on there. In
What
fact,
did he
his
say?
quote is, my groin.
Okay.
Also, Mason Tipton is on there, my groin.
Oh, man.
But also Cody White is on there, who also said, my groin.
Okay.
Not ack.
No, they're very different things.
Yeah. Only 3 groins on the groin index right now. But, yeah, I feel confident with Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Harold Fannin, and then I'm probably not messing around anymore. The Green Bay.
I do think Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson. I mean, if you've got one of those situations where you had Saquon and now you can't play Saquon,
Fair.
I mean, obviously pick up Tank Bigsby.
Yes.
But if you can't, Dylan Sampson is widely available. He had 14 opportunities last week, and it's a good matchup this week. He didn't do well last week against the Steelers, but against the Bengals, maybe you could.
Green Bay Packers 9-6-1 against Minnesota at 8-8. The Minnesota -8. It's Minnesota -6.5. Over under 36.5. All right, we get to play this one, huh? Minnesota will have Brosmer most likely. That pretty much ends your sentence. I think Justin Jefferson is the biggest bust in fantasy this year. I think relative to draft position, he is the worst pick you could have made.
And you started him over and over and over thinking he's Justin Jefferson and that they'll find a way, and it has not worked. It wasn't like an injured guy who you had to pivot off of and you lost that draft pick. He's hurt you more.
I don't disagree. I just hate it because it's like you have J.J. McCarthy, devastating, or Justin Jefferson, devastating pick. Brian Thomas Jr. was in the second round. I blame Brian Thomas Jr. for the most of his ineptitude this year. Like Trevor Lawrence, we dunk on him all the time, but Trevor Lawrence in the last month and a half, 2 months is playing awesome, and Brian Thomas Jr. is still not getting it done. All of Jefferson is related to his quarterbacks. But
yeah, we get to officially
still a bust of a pick, devastating.
You'll get to officially vote for the Poopiest Pants Award next week on the Footies. But Minnesota's won 4 in a row with Brosmer in tow. Green Bay have lost 3 in a row. They're locked into the number 7 seed. We'll see if they play Chicago for sure. In this game,
I think Josh Jacobs is the big question. Like, is Jacobs play?
I
think he does not.
I don't think
they're
does.
locked into the 7th seed?
They should not. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason Minnesota with Brosmer is a 6.5 point favorite.
I wouldn't.
The Packers
I'd
don't
be freaked out, man.
Have really anything to play for here. So, I don't think I'd start Josh Jacobs if he's active.
Oh, man. Are you seeing this? So Matthew Golden, Kyle is giving us this stat. Matthew Golden, first-round wide receiver pick. One of 8 first-round rookies over the last decade without a touchdown. This list is we buckle up. Kevin White.
Bust.
Laquan Treadwell.
Bust.
Josh Doxson.
Bust.
Mike Williams.
Not a bust.
John Ross.
Bust.
Corey Davis. Took 5 years.
Yeah.
Took 5 years. We finally got one out of him. Kadarius Toney.
Bust.
That's only one stat, but
also everything else that you've seen from him
oh man,
has been bad.
That's That's a bummer.
This was the first receiver they took in over 2 decades in the first round. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Packers fans are a combination of baffled and infuriated by the situation because, you had injuries to Tucker Kraft in the middle of the season. Now, you had an injury to Matthew Golden as well that knocked him out of some time. But, they don't understand the utilization, and then now they're frustrated with the production, and it all works together for bad. And he joined some terrible company there.
Green Bay, hey, GM, just give us a call. Give us a call when you're considering drafting a wide receiver in the first. We'll let you know.
We can help you out.
Are you talking about us individually?
Yes. Yeah.
You didn't mean Arizona.
No, I mean no.
Because we would take Andy
How dare you
Isabella.
no, that's not us. Us, the fantasy footballers. And we'll let you know if you should take that guy in the first.
Malik Willis, I think it would be a really interesting start, not because it's a good matchup, but because he has a rushing floor. He was the running game for this team last week, and he played 83% of snaps and had 60 rushing yards.
Yeah, the rushing baseline I think gives him an okay floor, but my goodness, I can't imagine him having multiple touchdowns in this game.
This is the defense that gave Detroit Lions questions about, is Jared Goff the future of this team?
On the course of the season, the Vikings give up 7.8 fantasy points to quarterbacks. They're the toughest. They're at home.
That's impossible.
I know. It's
they
crazy.
took over the spot from Houston, huh?
Yeah. They've been, that's because in the last 6 weeks they've given up 5 in 6 weeks.
Oh, wait. So. McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings said McCarthy is progressing. The swelling has come down. The status for J.J. McCarthy will be determined. So I guess he's not ruled out yet.
This game,
if J.J. McCarthy plays, honestly, I would feel much better about Jefferson.
Regardless of which quarterback is there, if they get to the fourth quarter and Justin Jefferson doesn't have 53 yards, they are going to throw it to him on every single play. They're going to go for it on 4th down and throw it to Justin Jefferson. They're getting him 53 yards.
That's a good point. Dallas 7-8-1 taking on the Giants 3-13. Dallas minus 3.5 right now. Over unders 51.5. I don't feel good about Dak with the news and report from Jerry Jones about we don't know how long we'll play him. Javonte Williams got banged up. I don't feel good about him.
Nope.
If I don't have Dak, I don't feel good about CD and Pickens.
Agreed.
And that makes that.
How dare you not believe in Joe Milton the third?
I mean, there's that. He will throw it very hard.
He is Bazooka Joe.
He will throw the ball very hard. I mean, I'm not saying you can't play those guys. I can't imagine benching them under the ambiguity of Dak. I just don't feel very amazing about it.
I didn't see the Jerry Jones quote. What exactly did he say about Dak?
He basically said he's going to start, but I'm not going to say what the plan is for him.
Okay.
We're going to start Dak. How we use Dak, let's make that part of the game plan that we won't talk about.
Okay.
That's a direct quote.
I'm saying that, to me, if you're like, hey, we're going to take Dak out, we're going to protect him, why would you not do that with like CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah,
if you're the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm more confident in George Pickens than CeeDee Lamb for this game.
That stinks.
Wan'Dale Robinson is the shortest receiver in the history of the National Football League to have 1,000 yards.
I did see that.
He just surpassed the Wes Welker record.
Wan'Dale's had a pretty good season.
He's a good player.
He hasn't got enough credit for what he's done this year. I mean, he hasn't been very consistent at it, but with the quarterback play, is 1,000 yards. Proud of him, and it's a good matchup for him this week. I mean, obviously Dallas.
He's
stinks.
like you and Jeremy's height.
How dare you? How
right?
Dare you?
Right? You guys are like the same. Like if you're running routes, you would look the same.
No. How dare you?
Good point, Al.
Wan'Dale and Jeremy, they can go.
Yeah. You're more Andy Isabella.
Thank you.
He's 5'9".
Yeah, way taller.
Yeah. Jake Ferguson hasn't hit 10 fantasy points since week 7. Don't mess around there. But we'll see. It'd be nice to see Jackson Dart finish the season on a high note. I'd feel okay about him this week against Dallas defense.
I'd play Dart.
Who just dumped Trayvon Diggs. Did you see the story around that and what happened?
I just saw
didn't he hire like a lawyer or something?
Well, I don't know what he's done since then. I know the story was basically he requested additional time, I think, in Washington because he has family there after their game. and the team said, no, we want you to come back to Dallas with us. And he's like, no, I don't. I'm just going to be flying right back to Washington. I don't want to do that. And then the team's like, you do whatever you want, man. See ya.
Wow.
Yeah. So, mind you, this is the worst passing defense in the history of football. And Trayvon Diggs, I believe the stat I saw is opposing quarterbacks have a perfect 153.8 or 158.3 passer rating when targeting Trayvon Diggs. Perfect record. He made $70-something million basically on interceptions. Even that season when he was dominating with the interceptions, he was taking a lot of chances to get them.
Right.
And so the interception total is really, it's kind of like the sack story versus the pressure sometimes. It's like, you know, some of these guys, they're sack masters, but they can't stop the run game or things like that. He was a bit of an illusion. Okay, 156.3 passer rating, so it's not perfect. It's
pretty
good.
as
close to perfect, yeah.
Tyrone Tracy, good play. He's been
really good.
He's been really good. Here's a cool stat from Underdog. Tyrone Tracy is the only player from the 2024 last year's draft class to put up 800 yards from scrimmage this season. He was the 45th skill position player taken in last year's draft class. Last year's draft class, that was great for last year. I mean, you had three wide receiver ones? Yeah, because it was Ladd, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors. I mean, it was a really good draft class. They did not have a great sophomore season.
Wow. No, and then you even had like standouts like Bucky Irving, who's basically been invisible this year. Tennessee's 3-13, taking on the 12-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been told to ask you who led the Titans in target share this year.
Who led the Titans in target share?
Now, I don't see the answer on here, so hopefully Kyle is listening and can reveal it.
Okay, so we're saying
early it would have been Ridley.
Oh, I have it now.
Then he went away.
I mean, you had Iomanner had a couple things. DK,
In games,
Jimray, DK.
Yep. Yeah.
And then Okonkwo is doing his normal
late season
surge.
Mm-hmm. Gunnar Helm was involved for a stretch.
I mean,
take your shot.
I'm going to say Jimray, DK.
He is fourth.
Perfect.
Then I am going to say Okonkwo.
He's third.
Darn it.
I'm changing to Ridley.
Ridley's second.
Okay.
Number one, Alec Iomanner.
Okay.
All right.
17% target share in the offense. Epic Iomanner. Yep. Jacksonville minus 12.5, over under 47.5. A win clinches the South. They need the win. They've won 7 in a row. They'll get the win. They're at home, and they're facing Tennessee, who has been putting up more of a fight. Tony Pollard's been better. Cam Ward's been better. Shout out to Chimray DK for doing literally the most you can do on this offense, basically, and in the special teams. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited for there.
Yes, for the future.
What order would you put the Jaguars wide receivers as far as starts this week?
Well, I got it wrong last week. I thought Jacoby Myers would be able to step up, and it was Parker Washington again. I'd probably just do the same order I did last week. I'd probably go Jacoby, Parker, BTJ.
Man, I feel like I'm putting Parker Washington number one.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He's just been so daggum good so often, especially since their bye week when they came out and they've really through this stretch. Like, you know, they've won 7 games in a row. His last 8 games, Parker Washington's on pace for 1,100 yards, 76 receptions. He's been kind of the wide receiver one for them.
It's crazy. I feel like he's the situation where if you look at him too closely and you trust him too much, that's when you'll be let down.
Sure.
But I'm just so interested in what the offseason looks like for Jacksonville's offense, and it might depend a little bit on how far they go in the playoffs. BTJ has the talent where, look, if you have a couple games in the playoffs where BTJ has big games, all of a sudden that alpha is more secure and they try to get it back into it. But Tony Pollard, he needs 66 rushing yards for $250,000.
Tough matchup to get.
Not much else to play for.
Yeah,
right?
but I bet they try and get it for him.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those situations where you don't need the win. Those are the type of teams where those financial bonuses matter. So they'll definitely give him the work required to get there, but he'll have to be special against Jacksonville.
Indianapolis at 8-8, taking on the Houston Texans at 11-5. If Houston wins and Jacksonville loses the aforementioned game, Houston would win the AFC South after an 0-3 start to the season. They can end up as high as the number 3 seed and as low as number 7, but they're likely the 5 seed in this one. They've won 8 games in a row. Their defense is impenetrable. I don't think I've used that word before to describe a defense, but it seems right.
Mm-hmm.
Houston,
I don't know. They give up 12 points to the quarterback.
That's true. They do. Indianapolis will be starting Riley Leonard to get a look at him before the season ends. 8-8 Indianapolis.
There is a part of me that wants to see Riley Leonard come out against the Houston Texans and just dominate.
Just because of the Phillip Rivers
because of
thing.
the you got pushed aside for Phillip Rivers. You had your chance was there, and they were like, "Nope, we're not going to give it to you."
Oh, I completely.
So now I want Riley Leonard to stick it.
Completely understand, but I have really bad news for you, Mike.
I know it's not.
Riley Leonard's going to go out there and show you exactly why they went to 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, and everyone's going to go, "Yeah, I get it."
We feel good about Nico, Houston defense, Jonathan Taylor as starts in this game. I probably feel terrible about Pittman and Pierce and Downs.
Oh yeah,
I feel questionable about Tyler Warren. It's weird how the season has gone. Obviously, the quarterback's been a problem, but like Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren, right now,
Mr. Loveland.
the momentum is with Mr. Loveland.
Yeah.
And we'll take a break. We'll talk some more matchups. All right, the New York Jets at 3-13 taking on the 11-5 Buffalo Bills in Week 18. Buffalo -7, over-unders 38.5. If you're playing against the New York Jets, you're loving every minute of it right now. It has been delightful for every offense that has played them. Breece Hall might not even play. I'm not sure you see the Buffalo Bills starters beyond a half.
Please don't play Breece.
Yeah, Breece
Please
Hall.
don't play.
Don't play. Dude, no.
He went to the podium after the game last week, said his knee got banged up, but he's fine. He's not even going to get an MRI. I hope that was because he knew he wasn't going to play ever again for the Jets. Please don't
play,
put
man.
yourself out there to get injured in this final week before your free agency hits. Don't do. If I am his agent,
Yeah.
I'm standing next to him for the week. I will let you shower without me. Outside of that, I am standing next to you saying you are not playing this week.
Yeah.
You are not playing this week.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Buffalo beat them 30-10 in the first matchup. The fact they're only 7-point favorites right now tells me there's some expectation for starters to get time off in this game.
You know Josh Allen will get the start, even if it's like a snap, because isn't he on – he's still on that streak, right? I think he hasn't.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Am I wrong?
I think he hasn't.
Kyle?
Hasn't missed a game in since his rookie season.
Okay.
I could be.
No,
I think
I'm not
I think
positive.
I think that's correct.
But a 7-point line, you would expect this to be double that if all their starters were expected to keep
For
playing.
sure.
Oh, week 17 in 2022.
He missed.
I don't see a Josh Allen game line.
I'll bet he started and took a knee or something in week 17. Well,
They would
Kyle
give him a
can
snap,
look,
though.
Kyle can look it up.
Yeah. So from a starter perspective, this one's a nerve-wracking game.
But it's
There's
one of
not a
those
lot to
things
gain
where
for Buffalo.
my point is if Josh Allen is active, this is a lot like Dak. I don't know how much Josh Allen you're going to get.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Hamlin game.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So that game did
That
not
game
happen.
that did not exist.
That one didn't finish.
Right.
Yeah. The Detroit Lions at 8-8 take on the Bears in Week 18. Chicago -3 over under 50.5. The Bears are the number 2 seed with a win or a Philadelphia loss. The games are played at the same time. I think Detroit, Chicago -3. I'm going to hit this one right now.
Andy's almost upset of the week.
Makes so much sense.
The Lions, kneecap biting Lions, with a chance to just mess something up for a division mate, to stay above 500 on the season, right? That's a big marker. You don't want to go under 500.
I think they didn't want to lose to Max Brosmer.
Well, certainly, but I'm taking Detroit to win outright.
All right. I would take Chicago.
Caleb is 109 yards away from breaking the Bears' passing yards record.
An astounding.
Where is
sitting
it?
at 3,700
They've
right
never
now?
had a 4,000-yard passer,
Correct.
right?
And they will still.
No, he's at
probably not.
37-30.
I guess he
That's
could do it.
270 yards.
You can do it, Caleb.
What's wrong with that? How many times has he
It's a
thrown?
good matchup to do
How many
it.
times has he thrown for 270 this year? He threw 330 last week. It's not a lot.
2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah, 4. I see 3.
Well,
One of you's wrong.
I see 3 times. Oh, 4 times. 4 times. You're right.
It was Andy.
So it's possible. Colston Loveland's been crushing it. Like, there are a lot of players you can play in this game. Amon-Ra is a little bit banged up with the knee. But, I mean, Gibbs and J-Mo and, the Bears starters and Caleb and Luther Burden with the targets last week. Colston Loveland.
For sure. I mean, Burden, I want to see the practice reports because of that knee, but I really want to play Luther Burden right now. And what?
It just had like some small remnants of the I love this game vibe going on.
He's just been very
he's good.
I don't know why, because it's not he's a more physical archetype, but I see a lot of Percy Harvin in like the get the ball in his hands and watch him make guys look a little silly.
I can barely even utter my comp to him, but he reminds me of Antonio Brown.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
I wouldn't dare argue with Mike this year. So
yeah,
he just like it could just be like
I did not know, but apparently Luther Burden is going to be the greatest wide receiver.
I mean, just like physically, they're like the same size, and Luther Burden is just he had a play last week where I can't remember if it was an out or a drag, but he's headed to the sideline, and he's running full speed and then stops and accelerates immediately the other direction. The defender went flying. It's like his body control, what he can do with his speed is incredible.
The Los Angeles Chargers are 11-5, taking on the 13-3 Denver Broncos. Denver minus 12.5 against the backups. Over/under is 37.5. That gives the Chargers 12.5 points. We're not going to see Herbert. We probably won't see
Hampton.
a ton of Hampton, if any. They need him badly. They have a banged-up Vidal, so Hampton for the playoffs is crucial.
I genuinely think that there is only one Charger you can realistically start.
Who's that?
Trey Lance.
Because Mike likes him?
Dude. And if it wasn't for Mike's love,
I
would say you can't start him either.
I was going to say, I don't think you can start Trey Lance.
I would like to start other players, but it's very fun.
The Broncos are going to kill Trey Lance. They're going to kill him.
I would agree with that because their defense always shows up. Their defense is unbelievable.
They also need to win the game.
They do.
They need to secure the number 1 seed. Trey Lance will have no fewer than 3 turnovers.
They are playing for the bye week. The Broncos are going to show up, but I do worry about the Broncos offense because the Broncos offense usually plays to the competition, and
I
don't think that the Chargers offense is going to do anything against the Broncos.
The Chargers are going to play backups and nobodies throughout the game. I think it'll be a really easy one for Denver.
I completely agree with that. I'm just wondering how much fantasy goodness
you're
is going
saying
to be
because
on.
the Chargers won't score enough.
Exactly. Yes, the Chargers are going to do absolutely nothing. The Broncos are going to run the ball.
I'll take a half of Denver. Cardinals offense did nothing last week. Yeah. I mean that's where I'd go. RJ Harvey, I feel good about.
Yes.
Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, I'm fine there. I probably don't mess around with too much more. I mean, Keenan Allen has some incentives he needs. I don't know if you saw that. So
yeah, he needed. One of them is not happening. It's like 2 touchdowns for a big chunk of change.
No, but he's got another $1 million on the line with 6 catches and 9 receiving yards.
Does Keenan play?
Oh, he's got to get that.
If he has 6 catches and 9 receiving yards, he gets $1 million.
Incoming 5 screens for Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Is this it for Keenan?
Yeah.
Probably.
Because I know he's played the whole season with the Chargers, but if you remember, he was a very late
maybe one more
addition.
year.
Like he was like
he's certainly not training camping next year,
right?
Even if he's a Charger.
Is he just a 1-year deal?
Yeah.
So I mean,
he came into the league in 2013.
I think he said he wants to play 1 more year. Yeah, he's played a long time. This one we don't have to spend a lot of time on, guys. But Kansas City takes on the Raiders, and this is one they're going to be playing this game. Vegas minus Kansas City minus 5.5, over/unders 36.5. So not a lot of points for either one. You have maybe the final NFL game for Travis Kelce, so I think that's a player you can play.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce would need 161 yards. Trying to do quick math to get to 1,000.
That would be more yards than the quarterback will throw. Though,
Yeah, that's
in this
impo-
game.
that is
the-
im- that's
the
impossible.
difficult- That's the
Impossible.
difficult.
Genty, would you play him? He's not been on the injury
Yeah.
report once this year either. By the
Yeah,
way.
I think Genty I would play. I mean, he's still going to be very involved, and the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
They couldn't do jack squat against the Giants.
Genty, Kelsey, maybe Michael Mayer at tight end. That's your matchup.
I don't understand. I don't know what to do with Genty.
Yeah.
He is a top tier running back.
You always
talent.
play him because you always have the ability to. I mean, you said they couldn't do anything against the Giants. He was still a top 24 running back.
Really?
So, yeah.
He slipped in.
I
With
mean,
8 points.
You can't selectively start.
8 points got you in the top 24 last week.
It was a bad week.
They
for
lost
running
Geno
back.
Smith, and he might not be starting. You just can't selectively start Ashton Genty because the matchup is not the story for him. You can see that because Houston was the worst possible matchup, and he scored 31. Giants were a great matchup. He scored 8. You have to have him in there if you want explosive plays.
Sure.
But I'm not talking about that game anymore. And
All
you,
right.
and you can't
That's
make
fine.
it. The Cardinals, the worst franchise in the history of all sports, at 3-13, with a horrible coach and management, horrible
Ooh.
players, and horrible everything.
Who has a shot
Horrible
to come
colors,
back next
horrible
year?
logo, horrible everything.
Yeah,
Horrible garbage team. Sorry.
I want Daboll.
I would too. I would love that. But they're going to bring back.
Number 2.
Gross.
The Rams are 11-5. That's who the Cardinals get to play. The Rams are 6.5-point favorites.
Does that line shock you?
That line is 100% because they're not going to play their players.
Ah.
Yeah. That line, of course, it shocks me because that line would be 14
Mm-hmm.
if they thought Matthew Stafford and Kyron and Puka and them were going to play the whole game. Sean McVay.
If I will say this, so San Francisco, that game against Seattle, they play on Saturday.
Yep.
So if Seattle wins that game, I'll bet you the line grows because
Yep.
the Rams can then elevate to the 5th seed with a win. I mean, they're going to win even with backups,
Right.
so they're not too concerned. But should Seattle win, then I'm more, likely to play a Stafford.
That's the best point that you can make for this game. If the opposite happens, if San Francisco wins and the Rams cannot improve their number 5 seed, I don't think they're going to play players.
Yeah,
He said they were going to start him because
McVay
we need to
said-
play, but he was angry right then.
Yeah, he was angry. They've lost some games recently. They're not playing their best football going into the playoffs, and so they said they were going to start him. So you can listen to the trap, or you can walk around the leaves on the ground.
Trey McBride is awesome. He's the one bright, shining star, along with Michael Wilson in the sea of vomit in Arizona.
When you're out in the middle of the ocean, some stars are very bright.
Yeah,
That's true.
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride, we got to juice these numbers. You got to make sure no one catches your
He's at 119
your tight end
receptions.
receiving record.
I want him at 130.
Well, it's not just here's the thing. On the other side of the field, Puka Nacua, I believe they are tied, or at least they were tied maybe going into last week for the league lead in receptions.
Oh,
There's only been like
Puka's at 119. They're tied.
There's only been, I think, 3 times in history where a tight end has led the NFL in receptions. So this will be like
What else are you playing for? Just
Yeah,
throwing the
no,
ball
I
on
mean,
every play.
And if Puka ends up getting another reception on the next drive, you go, we got to get 2 for McBride.
Michael Wilson, just for fun, since week
unlimited tap passes.
7
to
games.
McBride.
Yes. Yes.
He's averaging 1 yard a catch.
but he has
But he has
27
20.
catches. That'd be amazing. Michael Wilson since week 11 on pace for 123 catches,
Oh, my
1,641 yards,
No.
12 touchdowns, 194 targets, and that's since week 11.
Michael Jerry Bryce Wilson.
Which
He is arguably like the best waiver wire pickup that you could have picked up from
whoa,
week
don't
11
sway
on.
the vote. And great
Oh,
news.
is that one of our options?
Great news for Michael Wilson. Marv is not playing.
No, he's out.
Okay. McBride, Michael Wilson.
Yep.
Fire
There
him
you
up.
go. And then pay attention to that game on Saturday night and the motivation level for the Los Angeles Rams. The Dolphins are 7-9. That seems impressive to me considering how it's felt.
Oh, yeah.
New England's 13-3. The Vegas line, New England minus 10.5. They need to win, and they need Denver to lose to have the number 1 seed. It is possible.
playing
It
at
is
the same
highly
time?
improbable. Yeah.
Just confirming the.
Do we have any comments, Kyle, on the New England strategy here in this game in terms of playing players?
Vrabel hasn't said anything yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
And Broncos are playing in the they're both in the afternoon.
Yep.
So the Pats will not know.
Feel good about Travion, May, and Achane?
Yes, May is on. I mean, the thing is you're still technically playing for a bye week. I know, obviously, with the Chargers resting their players, you presume that the Broncos will win, but it's the NFL. Crazy things can happen. And for Mike Vrabel and for Drake May, they want to get him the MVP.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That matters to NFL teams, to players. So I'm confident with Drake May because I don't think they're going to have him go out there and play a quarter and sit. I mean, I wouldn't. I would go get him that.
They probably get him the MVP. By the way, the Buffalo game update, Sean McDermott just came out and said that he is aware of the fact James Cook is in position to win the rushing title, and he said, quote, "That's definitely on my mind."
And it's between, him and Jonathan Taylor? Does Jonathan Taylor play earlier? Well,
Earlier than James Cook and the Bills?
Taylor has 1,559 rushing yards right now.
The Buffalo is in the afternoon. The Colts are
So
in the morning.
He's got he's at 1,606, 1,559, and 1,606. So he's got a nice 50-point lead-ish.
right. So if Jonathan Taylor goes out, has 99, 100 yards, takes that lead, then James Cook will go and get that lead.
Vrabel did come out and say, I did find one comment, Brooksy found it on the Patriots, said probably everybody that's healthy will play. So right now you just got to play with confidence with those guys, which does mean Ramondre is in play as well.
Sure.
But the Dolphins have figured out how to stop the run pretty much all year. So I kind of like the big play potential of Travion more than I would like the other stuff from Ramondre.
I definitely agree. Travion is the better play between the two. And keep in mind, this is a divisional matchup, so that matters. They want to smash the Dolphins.
Speaking of getting smashed all year long, Washington's 4-12, and they take on the Philadelphia Eagles,
Backups,
who are 11-5. The Vegas line, Philly -3.5, over under 38.5. Not a high over under. Tanner McKee, Tank Bigsby, Jahan Dotson. These are your stars in this game.
Revenge game.
These are your Week
for
18
Dotson.
stars.
Yeah, I mean, Tank Bigsby, the matchup is great. You're favored. You're at home. You're talented. He's the guy I would want from this game. I don't know that I would really play around with anyone else.
What about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt?
Well, I meant on the Eagles side.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think well, the problem with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is that Chris Rodriguez has been better than him when healthy, and last week was an illness.
About Crod?
Crod. Yes, Crod.
Crod.
A late addition to the nicknames.
I mean, I still play JCM over Chris Rodriguez at this point,
I think you have to.
but I don't want to play either one of them. So Terry McLaurin, if you need to, just give it a shot. Maybe they try to get him a little bit more yardage accumulation on the year, but you're playing with super backups. He still had 5 catches last week for 63 yards. He's the go-to guy. Sunday Night Football is the Baltimore Ravens, who are 8-8, taking on the 9-7 Pittsburgh Steelers for the division. We're hearing word of Lamar Jackson practicing. Baltimore -3.5, over under of 40.
Classic AFC North.
Derrick Henry will get the ball 20-plus times in this game.
He should.
You'll see.
Unless the coaches mess it up again.
I mean, this feels like the game that everyone's going to say Baltimore will win. Lamar will come back, right? Here's what's going to happen. Because this is how this works for Mike Tomlin. You know where I'm going.
I do.
Lamar will come back and play. Derrick Henry will play. It will seem like Baltimore should win this game. And Pittsburgh will claw out some nasty, ugly win on the back of Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith and Kenny Gainwell. They won't give it to Warren enough, Mike. He'll be running great, but they won't give it to him enough.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin will make the playoffs again, much to Jason's chagrin.
Go Baltimore.
The nice thing is you can anybody you would play from this matchup, you can play because you don't have. This is the one matchup, one of a couple, right? San Francisco, Seattle, Baltimore, Steelers, Carolina, Tampa. Those games you can play all the players you would normally play.
Do Steelers fans want to win this game?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Of
yeah.
course.
No,
Well, because I know that they are so
huge
done
fans
with
of their
Tomlin.
team.
Yeah, I get that, but I think that as much as like Andy, you're kind of done with the Tomlin thing, and you don't really have a horse in the race. I think when you're a Steelers fan, a lot of them are just really worn out with Tomlin and would maybe like them to move on. very difficult to do that when you make the playoffs. So it's like their one chance to finally miss the playoffs and maybe move on. I didn't know. Because no Steelers fan looks at their team and goes, we're going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
I mean, they're like the team, well, them and then whoever wins between Tampa and Carolina. Those are the two teams where it's like, no real shot. They're going to be in the playoffs and probably one and done, but everyone wants to face them. So
I'm going to get you
know.
some numbers on the in or out on Tomlin. I'm super curious about that. About the Steelers fans out there, are you in on Tomlin because he's a great coach and consistent, gets you to the playoffs, and you want to keep it going? Or are you out on Tomlin and want a fresh start?
Did you put a poll up?
Yes, I did.
Did you add a third thing for view results? You got to have that because only Steelers fans should be voting. You know what I mean?
What do you mean view results?
Like a third poll
option
to view results. Because if you're not a Steelers fan, you can't see the results unless you click on one of them.
No,
and then you're totally ruining
this
the
guy,
results.
He has no idea
it's
what
okay.
he's doing.
You're allowed to delete and repost. In the meantime, I'll tell you, Coach Mike Tomlin about 24 hours ago was talking about TJ Watt in this game, said he'll work him up over the course of the week and let the amount of participation and the quality of participation be our guide. I'm more optimistic than I've been in previous weeks, so there's a chance for a very important game that they get TJ Watt back. So just
Do you guys realize that Zay Flowers, little Zay Flowers, is sitting here at the wide receiver 14?
No. Oh my, no! I did not realize that.
That kind of fits with the. Who are the two other guys that are sitting right at like 11 and 12? Was it Juwan Jennings?
That was one of them. I think our stat
was like a couple guys that you're just like, man, these guys they show up for the game every week.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Zay Flowers, I got to fix my scoring format real quick.
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson is the wide receiver 13. That's
There is the thought
Pretty
that the
silly.
loser of this game on between the Steelers and Baltimore will be also that team will lose their head coach.
yeah.
Possible.
Because I think Ravens fans are growing tired of Harbaugh as well.
Oh, I know they are. Yeah.
The initial poll results after a little while here is about 60-40 out on Mike Tomlin. But, this is a Steelers fan. I think he's a great head coach, grateful for his time on the team, time to move forward. It's not clicking. It's not clicking the way it used to. We need a new voice in the locker room. And then Ravens fans, we're out on Harbaugh while we're at it. It's what they said.
Yeah,
So,
it makes sense. Cardinals, please go get the leftovers.
The Harbaugh one is tougher because it's like Pittsburgh has not had a quarterback solution since
Big Ben.
Since Big Ben's like
Since about 3 years.
third
Yeah.
to last
Yeah, I
year
was
or
gonna
so.
say, exactly.
I mean, and that's on the team. That's on the GM. That's on the coach. You should have had a plan. You got to figure out a plan. But Baltimore fans, you have Lamar, and if Harbaugh's not getting it done with Lamar, then I can understand being frustrated.
all right, it is time for the Fantasy Face-Off for Week 18.
Fantasy Face Off, presented by Prize Picks.
So we'll try to be the very tiny, small splinter in Mike's finger while he is swimming in
You poor thing.
in his golden bullion.
I would not be surprised if we spin the wheel and it's like Mike has to do this show again.
Wheel of
Yeah, we're not recording.
Shame.
It was a trick.
That's the actual Wheel of Shame. We haven't been recording this podcast. You got to do Week 18 a second time.
By yourself.
By
solo.
yourself. Solo.
All right,
Solo
spin.
Week 18 is the ultimate punishment.
Spin the wheel. You can't hurt me no
Mike
matter
is
what.
the shame. My goodness.
Big mouth. I do have a big. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For those listening at home, Mike is going to have to insert a contraption.
Like you get in the dentist's office or that
You
game.
got it right the first time.
The big flap goes down.
This
Yeah.
is the
Yep.
game. This is from the board game.
Yeah, so we're going to have to do our best job to yes.
Hello.
Oh, I
man.
wasn't sure if you could read your.
All right. Well,
I can read.
This is a punishment for me. Of course, it backfires. Mike has got the ultimate power, Magic
all right,
Mike.
Mike, start us off with your quarterback.
My quarterback is Brock Purdy,
Brock
Purdy.
242 and a half.
242.
You're taking the
This is awesome.
I got more, baby.
more.
I'm gonna be drooling.
Oh, man, this is so good.
My Green Goblin is my quarterback. Bryce Young, more than 0.5 passing touchdowns.
Okay. Good luck. I know. That's how I feel like. I'm going to go with Quinn Ewers.
Ewers is about what I'm singing right now across from me.
188.5 passing yards. No, Mike, I'm going less.
What?
Yeah. No.
He was good last week.
Sure, yeah. Let's see how he does against the Patriots.
What position you want me to read next?
Running back.
Dude, there's so much drool.
So much droll.
Did you say running back?
Yes, I did.
Rico Dowdle.
Oh, you can roll the R's pretty well, though.
What's it laughing at?
Oh,
There's so much saliva everywhere. Rico Dowdle, 57.5 rush yards. We're going hard.
Okay.
Oh,
more than 57 rushing yards.
I'm taking Christian McCaffrey, more than 69.
My beard is saturated.
More than 69.5 rushing yards for CMC.
Well, I'm taking Christian McCaffrey, more than 18.5 rushing attempts.
Okay.
So,
Little CMC action.
Yeah, I mean, super important game.
Yep,
They're
that's
going to
it.
be in it. They need him.
Justin Jefferson.
Uh-oh.
I almost took his line.
So what's he need for the 1,000?
He needs 53.
You'll eat that. That's 64.5?
Uh-huh.
No.
Dude, I almost
less.
took 64.5 less. And I thought, you're going to walk that tightrope. It's going to be more than 53 and less than 64.
This is amazing. Mike Evans, Tampa Bay, wide receiver.
My off is huge.
53.5 receiving yards more.
Okay. I, too, have a Tampa Bay Bucks wide receiver. Emeka Egbuka.
Oh, no.
I know, right?
Oh, no.
Is my Green Goblin. 1.5 receptions. Just got to get to 2.
Good luck.
I know. I'm going to be sweating. Just get 2 receptions.
Wow.
Egbuka.
My Green Goblin is
YouTube.
Cade Otton. 1.5 receptions.
Same team.
So we've all got the Bucks passing game. All right.
I'm going roar.
I actually went Travis Kelce, 42.5 receiving yards. I'm taking the more.
I too went Travis Kelce, 42.5 receiving yards more.
All right. We went the same direction there on the tight end. I'm so tempted to have you read the CTA.
No, hold on. Get a.
Do you think Prize Picks would be happy about that?
Let's see. Hold on. I can't say fee.
Hold on. That was Fantasy Faceoff.
Presented by Prize Picks.
Presented by Prize Picks. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Use the code Footballers to get $50 in lineups, and you play $5. No show tomorrow. Enjoy your New Year's Day.
No Sunday Live either.
No Sunday Live this week. Reminder.
My calculations are correct.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah. We've got no show tomorrow or Friday. Enjoy the new year. Be safe tonight, and enjoy the football in Week 18. If you're a champion, celebrate. If you lost in a championship game, celebrate in a different way.
Tomorrow is a new year.
It's a new year. Turn the page. Footy Award nominations coming next Tuesday. We got some Footballers AMA. We got the True Series. We got a lot of stuff going on. And Mike's going to finish drooling on himself. So
it's so much.
We're going to say goodbye for right now. But we'll be back. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.